Hello and welcome back to Season 6 of Layback with Betfair. It has been a long and arduous winter, but the sniff of spring is well and truly in the air as the Group 1 Winx Stakes headlines a huge weekend of racing at Royal Randwick as well as the Valley. My name's Nick Foote, back for a new season, and well, the two men here, some of the greatest of Betfair, join me, Tom Haylock and, of course, the equine genius, Liam Clancey. Clance, thanks for stepping in for Reese Goodwin already first up.
Oh, yeah, Reese has got some very good horses going at the moment, which means he's got to do a bit more work than he's used to. So it's nice to be back in the chair and set for another season.
Yeah, he's a city winner now, our man Reese Goodwin, so we might only see him intermittently, Tommy, as I welcome him the Baron of Betfair.
He is. He's got, my filly's heading towards 1,000 guineas, so that's exciting.
Just check that was 45 seconds into episode 1. He's told us he's got a good horse.
So he's busy, so I'm happy he's not here and he's giving the horses some love. But I want to talk about Clancy's shirt change before we go any further.
Yes, let's, because I got to the studio a little bit earlier than you, Tom, as most would expect.
Didn't help us kick underway.
Yeah, failed to prepare to fail. But speaking of that, I walked in and Liam Clancey was shirt off in the foyer of the Betfair offices, just ironing a shirt.
Pressing. Look how clean and crisp it is. Taking the shirt around the level.
Oh, I can guarantee you if it was me ironing the shirt, it wouldn't look this crisp.
It's the most well-pressed shirt I've ever seen.
Well, it's the most professional thing we've seen on this studio. So
yeah, well, look, let's try and keep it relatively professional. It's probably not going to be that in this start because it's a very poor segue into our first segment, which is the lay bin, because we like to have a little bit of fun before we get into our racing analysis. And I'm sure, Tommy, you've been filling your iPhone notes segment with many lay bins across the course of the off-season.
So I didn't actually have one this week. I'm a bit light on this week, but I've scrolled back into the archives.
Yes.
I didn't have to go too far back to see that last week I actually put something in the lay bin that I'm passionate about. Now, a crossing supervisor, a school children's crossing supervisor, got made redundant and banned because they were giving high fives to kids. So someone has complained, a woman from a school has called up and complained that this crossing supervisor was giving kids high fives, and now he doesn't have a job.
Isn't that a voluntary role anyway?
No, I think they do get paid, apparently.
I'm not going to ask for the tax return, but regardless, paid or not, that is just some of the more 2024 garbage that we'll hear. And
correct. So that's straight in the lay bin.
That's got me in a bad mood.
Pick it up.
Thanks, Tommy.
Clance will get you in a good
Glad you went into the archives, Clance.
Yeah, this is a late edition. I just remembered this recently.
Hang on, what was in there before?
Black Caviar's passing.
Yeah,
that was in the lay bin. That was
didn't
very
say
sad
Black
stuff.
Caviar. I just said Black Caviar.
Yeah.
Didn't like Black Caviar?
No, she's one of the all-time greats. But what I will put in there is, as has become known to us recently, the bloke next to us is going to Malta for a wedding in a couple of weeks. So not only is he doing that,
here we go.
he has sent a notification to all staff of Betfair, not just Melbourne, Australia-wide, and he's put in everyone's calendar, Tom Haylock annual leave for about 2.5 weeks. So on every single day of every calendar within the business, we've got Tom Haylock is on annual leave.
I'm not even shocked. The entitlement that sort of radiates off
not
this
actually
bloke.
True.
That is absolutely
not
true.
to everyone in the business.
Yeah.
And I just wait for Liam to try and call me on day 3 of my leave. Where's Tom?
Isn't that self-importance of this? Like everyone, including the CEO, needs to know where I am.
To be fair, if the Baron goes on leave, the impact this guy has over the organisation, I think they do need to know. It's actually a really nice segue into one of my lay bins, and it's just, goods and services corresponding with people across email and people writing back, nice to meet you, when you're never going to meet them in real life. It's a one-off transaction. It's not nice to meet you. Just give me what I need and we'll be on our way. We're not meeting. This is just a simple transaction.
Woody wants to deal in facts.
Put your meet you in the bin. We haven't yet. So that's
that.
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
What else anything else, Clance, that you want to throw in?
Oh, frustration leading into this weekend is Apollo Stakes Day in the autumn and Winx Stakes Day in the spring, where you're watching 150 trials on a Wednesday for the weekend ahead. It is so time consuming and so
it's right in my
but it's your time of the year. You like your trials.
Because I am Mr. Positive at the show, I'm going to say, for someone that's continued to do form throughout winter and have seen the same nags roll around week by week in benchmark 64s to 78 grade, I'm welcoming it with open arms, boys. So, Clancy.
Head of morale footy.
Well, you
over
are,
here.
you are
already
the equine genius. He only comes in Group 1 time, so he doesn't...
First Group 1 of the season is already flat.
Seasonal format, unless this bloke. Spring only, yeah. When these horses come back at the back end of spring, you'll be like, who's this? They've won 3 in a row. Let's get into the racing. We've got so much to cover, and we'll kick things off, of course, at Royal Randwick. The beauty of a card, obviously headlined by the Group 1 Winx Stakes, but a really cracking undercard as well, Tommy. Just in terms of track conditions, there's been a lot of rain at Randwick throughout these previous meetings. Clance wouldn't know because he hasn't been tuning in. But we've got a soft 5 in Sydney at the moment. The rail's in the 3-metre position. What's that going to mean for the pattern across the course of the day?
I think the track will play really well. I think it might even get to a good 4, but it's a wet, wintry good 4. It'll still have a fair bit of give in it. So I've got the track playing fair. There's no huge bias. No issue being running line either. So, yeah, I don't know how you saw it, Liam.
Similar, and, they've got great weather this week, so looking forward to seeing plenty of people at the track excited about it too.
Brilliant. Let's kick things off, boys. Race number 5, the Group 3 Premier's Cup. It's a handicap over 2,000 metres. Hosier won the edition last year, but the race had really good form in behind the winner last year. So you had Military Mission, Boy d'Argent, Cleveland, Athabascan, Faulkner Park and Gear Up, who all actually were subsequent stakes winners. So it was a really good kick-off point for what was to come across the course of the spring and a little bit after. French import Elias is well and truly supported in the market here. How are you guys assessing the race?
Yeah, not really my kind of race, these. I think the French import second campaign here in Australia is going to be mighty hard to beat. Love the trial, no knock at all. So if I'm playing it, it's leaning that way. But I will have a peanut on Cleveland here. They tinker with this horse's gear. He's got the ability to win this. Obviously, his 2 runs last campaign were nothing short of awful. Didn't better run home, beaten out of sight. But McDonald on, blinkers on. For a horse that won a Moonee Valley Cup, he ran 4th in this race last year.
This horse is your love child. Just say it.
Well, I like him. I did back him in the Moonee Valley Cup, and I tipped him. He's not. I actually hate the horse, but I do. I hate it because
you've backed him every start in Australia.
Well, he keeps going around at 40. So, I'm happy to have something. McDonald on, blinkers again. I'd just be so disappointed if he wins this race with those kind of positives and a bit of intent that, and he's got the ability to win. So, yeah. Is
a peanut a universal form of currency?
Yes, that's how we rate our confidence in Betfair terms. It's not units, we're going with peanuts.
Peanuts, how many peanuts? Clance, it's a race that you want to get involved in. How many cashews are you throwing away?
Yeah, very, very good. I agree with Tommy in the sense that these 2,000 metre races over in Sydney that there doesn't look to be a lot of pace on again. So below average pace, you've got Clark, who probably goes to lead on the French import, Elias.
Sir Luke and Caliper will have a bit of speed.
Sir Luke and you'd imagine might go and sit outside, but Caliper is more of a back marker. I wouldn't expect Caliper to be getting too far forward. And Redstone Well and Canberra Legend to probably be the next pair back. And they're probably where I want to be focusing on. I think Touristic is, it's got the race hardened with fitness on its side, and I think that's somewhere we're going to be focusing on a lot today. And one of few who can sit in those first 3 pairs and got really nice consistent ratings that continues to run that are going to be right at the top here. Elias has that peak rating from its only start here, but it's less than a full length ahead of Touristic's 3. So when you're getting $8 for Touristic, I'd much rather that than taking even money about Elias. And you've got Redstone Well, who can sit forward in midfield as well, and enjoyed the change up to a soft 5 from heavy tracks last start and produced the ratings to back that up. So Redstone Well's $8, Touristic $8. I'd rather be taking both of them, combined price of $4 in Elias at the even money.
You're laying Elias?
No, because it's rightful favourite, should be there, but I'd like to take the bigger figures.
Yep, and as I sort of prefaced at the top, I think it's a race we're going to learn a lot from, and I'm more than happy to watch. I think the French nag Elias will be fairly hard to beat. Let's take a look now at race number 6. It's the Group 2 Silver Shadow Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies over 1,200. Autumn Ballet beat Estriella and Komochi in this race last year. I think yours truly found Autumn Ballet as well at a price at around $18. If you ran that again, I think Gordon Ballet would be about 300 to 1 versus Estrella. But we bet in the here and now. Tommy, how are you assessing this race from a map perspective?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Obviously, Waterhouse and Bott have a couple in it. Shadow Miraval's got to be right up there. Hallett showed a bit of intent in the trial as well. So you'd think those two control the speed up front. There'll be solid tempo, 1,200 metre race. Fillies, most of them first up. So, yeah, they won't go slowly, but they won't go extremely hard. I really like this race. I'm keen. I'll throw to you two first because I'll probably rebut you on a couple of things. So
yeah.
I think we have differing opinions, which is good.
Yeah, I think Clance and I are sort of looking down the barrel, and correct me if I'm wrong here, we're sort of going the here and now runner versus a few of these that will have a little bit more class and will win better races moving forward. That's certainly how I'm seeing it.
For sure. And you always see year after year, the 2-year-olds that become 3-year-olds, they can change their form so much. You know, they either haven't gone on with it and haven't, developed more muscle mass, or some have gone through the roof, right? And that's very hard to predict. So Zetung for Godolphin is one that we've already seen as a 3-year-old, went out really strongly and then came back and has the highest peak rating in this field by quite some way. The only negative is the wide draw, which I don't even know if it is that big of a negative, because given it likes to sort of get out there in the open. Manal, the obvious danger for me, but I'm really happy to be taking $7 about a horse with the highest peak rating in the field.
Yeah, I'm with Zaytung as well for a couple of those reasons that you've mentioned, but just the run under the belt versus a few of these can get them on the hop. Good win in Fillies and Mares Company. That was second fastest last 200 metres of the day at Canterbury a fortnight ago. As I said, I don't think it'll be the best filly out of the race, but can catch a couple of these on the hop, Tommy.
I'm against you guys, and pretty confidently, to be honest. I don't like her at all at the price. She had every possible chance first up. She had the back of Bonita Queen. She had rails in run at Canterbury. Got off the fence at the right time. Bonita Queen was first up, tiring late. Yes, she's come out and won since. Yes, the race rated okay. Loses J-Mac, goes from inside barrier to outside barrier, up in gravy. This is up in grade. This is a different kettle of fish here. So I think Manal, Erno's Cube, and Amina are better horses, and I think they've trialled well enough to beat her. So
that Amina trial was dynamic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm against Zetung. I'm laying her, going for the hamburger footy, and with Amina, she's a very nice filly. Track record holder at when she won on debut, if you don't mind, at Start 2. First race at the track, to be fair. The Heath track there. But no, I've got a huge opinion of her. She should have finished much closer, and a Percy Sykes was enormous there. Slowly away, went back to last, along the inside, wrong part of the track, finished 9th, but only beaten 2.5, and was doing best work late. McDonald jumps off Zetung, rides Amina on the back of a dynamic trial, as you said. So I'm with her and pretty bullish on the race.
And it's a hamburger with a lot because you're laying ours and backing Amina. So the panel's going head-to-head. It's our first hamburger for the season there for Tommy. So good luck to you, mate, but hopefully you lose. Race 7 is the Group 3 Show County. This is a handicap over 1,200 metres. It was the last time Buenos Notches won a race, this race last year, beating Home Argentia and Dragonstone. There's just the 2 runners that aren't presenting first up. So again, Clance prefaced all the trials. Poor old Clance had to scroll through over the past 24 hours.
Poor Liam.
Poor Liam. But whatever any of these runners do, I'm sure they're likely all going to get better off this run. How are you assessing the race? I'll start with you, Liam.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Jolie Star's a horse that I've got so much time for, but first up, we're just not quite sure how good she is at this point. She keeps improving, so definitely has the ability to win this, but too short at the 340 for me early. Our Kobe Sun is equal favourite in my book, but again, too short. And the ones that I want to focus on at bigger prices, there's NCAP, is nice enough trial to suggest he's come back well enough and ready to sprint here fresh. If you forget that all aged in the order, which was, pretty much bottomless, a heavy 15. He's right in it, and he's $17. And there's one that has had to start this prep, which is much, much better. He's going to sit up on speed, getting $34 there. That was a 4th behind Schwartz, first up in the Group 2 Missile. Expect similar showing to be going forward. Step below these, yes, but at least has had that start. And there's another one, which is a big price of $80 to $1, which is Kinlock. And does a lot wrong, gets back over the 1,200, but will be closing late, and I think we'll look at coming winner. So not worth not the worst bet at about 80 to 1.
So you're having a bet, or are you talking the field? What
Yep,
are we doing?
Those three.
Those three?
17, 34 and $81. Happy to have small plays there.
That's why the equine genius is on the panel, Tommy, just rolling out $81 shots here.
See how they go first. See whether he gets another gig next week.
I like the courage regardless, straight up.
Yeah.
What about you, Tommy?
Amazing race. Now,
Amazing
race. So look at the strike rate of some of these horses. Our Cobra Sun's won 6 of 10, Bandy's Boy 5 of 11, M-Man 5 of 12, Yellow Brick 7 of 15, Griff 5 of 9, and then you got Jolly Star, the favourites, run the Quinella in all 6 starts. It's an incredible race.
Just on Jolly Star, I heard Chris Waller talking on Melbourne radio about this runner, and he is still just really unsure what the distance is going to be, whether they're going to keep to the sprint trips, 1,200 metres, or whether she becomes a genuine miler. So scratch from the 1,100 metres for the 1,200 just to settle a little bit more and not be run off feet in the early stages. So it'll be really interesting to see where she goes as this prep develops.
Is that a positive or a negative heading into this race?
I saw it as a bit of a negative because I don't think Chris knows either. I wasn't getting a lot of confidence from Chris.
Yeah, barrier 11, obviously. If 1,200 educational run potentially where they try and get her to settle. I wouldn't be surprised if she's the best horse coming out of this race. Like, she's got a fantastic career record. She's still on the way up. I know Southport Tycoon started 650 in a Group 1 when we last saw him. But I love the race. I'm with one at a price here that if Yellow Brick doesn't win this race now or finish in the first couple, he won't beat these horses again. Now, he's coming off Queensland campaign, 7 weeks since between his Eagle Farm listed win and his barrier trial at Dooman, which was a lovely piece of work. Now, this horse just maps absolutely perfectly here. I love horses, Queensland campaigns, early spring. Everything is in his favour. He was pretty disappointing last campaign, and I think maybe the fresh run on the heavy 10 and the really bog tracks, he may not have come up after that, but he's got the ability. He's $12, $13. You might get 15, 16 on Betfair. And now's his time. So I think he is the play there with the perfect map for me. So something number 4, Yellow Brick.
He's my second pick, Yellow Brick, for the reasons that you mentioned as well. I love those Queensland Carnivals. Residual fitness. We'll hear that term a little bit as the show goes on. I've got the over-unders marked at 6.5 for residual fitness throughout this. Yeah, we walked out of here real pissed if we did that. But I'm siding. I think this is one of the better bets on the program. I'm with our Kobe Son. Comes through a benchmark 88 a fortnight ago, and this is a stakes class horse masquerading in benchmark company. It was evident from that run that he didn't belong at that level, and he's the one with the run under the belt. Genuine sprinter as well. Like, this is his distance, 1,200 metres. He's not looking to get better as the prep goes on. He's the here and now horse, which you'll hear me say a little bit over the next 30 minutes or so. And at 53 kilos under handicap conditions, just looks so well placed against a few of these. So I'm really keen on our Cobra Son in the 7th, boys.
Good luck. Goes forward, just the one turn there. That's the place you want to be.
Let's go to the feature on the day now. Race number 8, the Group 1 Winx Stakes, weight for age, 1,400 metres. It's a cracking edition. It's a kick-off point, and there's a lot of discussion around Group 1s as kick-off points, but this is a genuine Group 1 field, 1,400 metres, and what an honour roll it is. Winx 3 in a row. We've seen the likes of Very Elegant, Animo and Fangirl looking to go back-to-back this year. From a speed perspective, you'd think Just Fine and Tropical Squall are going to play a pretty big part in how this race shapes.
100%, yeah. I've got Tropical Squall leading and Just Fine camping off. I don't know if you've got any other speed influences?
Yep, got those two there. I think Samana with the residual fitness thing sits behind the leader, and Zugotcha from 6 gets the plum run, 1 out, 1 back for me.
Yep. Yeah, I think Fangirl's a horse to beat. Do I want to dive in at the price? Maybe not. One of those weird races where intent is huge, and that's why I've got Tropical Squall right in the mix. If I am playing, I can have something Tropical Squall. I did want to see more from the trial. Wasn't the strongest through the line.
It's very weak through the line. Just stopped as if shot.
Yeah, that's not uncommon for some of these Waterhouse runners at times. So I know you're surprised by that.
They're completely opposite of their trials. Waterhouse and pot trialers.
No, they usually go hard in the straight, and they can often ease them up after the line. So, but I did want to see more from Tropical Squall, but I don't want to be against Tropical Squall here. I've got Fangirl on top. Vestina goes back, look to run on maybe. Samana's the other one, as you mentioned, up and running. I'm not going to say the word, but got a bit of intent about Samana. So I'm just looking at what I will do in terms of multiples or quaddies and whatnot. I've got Fangirl clearly in the mix, and then Tropical Squall Samana right there as well. I don't actually think anything else can win, to be honest.
Clance, Equine Genius, Group 1 time. It's your time to shine.
Look, I think the top three are of all class in terms of Fangirl, Zougotcha, Via Sistina. You got Fangirl and Via Sistina, who are so likely to just go back from there and use it as a run. Fangirl obviously has the class to actually just blast them out of the water anyway. I would love Riff Rocket to draw a mid-barrier just to sit a little bit closer. That was a great 1400. Yeah, it was great 1400 metre win last prep and showed it could do it over the shorter distances. But you just have to think for barrier 12. They're going back last and they'll hit the line well. Zougotcha's just the one that I think is suited so perfectly. Sits one out, one back. Sensational after the line in both of her trials this time in, which I love the look of that. Gets a run of the race, career best form last preparation. Love that setup. One that I will not be letting go without me is Buckaroo. We're 80 to 1, 100 on the exchange at the moment. It's been harshly disrespected by the market, but
you can have him.
He's trialled up really nicely this go behind Tom Kitten and Zardozi in that trial. It's only a length off them.
Yep.
And he didn't have anything go his way first up last prep over the 1400. Now, even that rating itself is right in the market here and then didn't do much after that, and that's fine. He's going in the quaddie. Was a really nice rating in the Rambit up to 2,000. You get the 1400 first up here. And I just think maybe this prep, 80 to 1, just have something on, including the quaddie for you, Tommy. Maybe in your wide
I'm not
quaddie.
going to talk you out of it. It's 800 to 1.
Kind of feel bullied to now put Buckaroo in my quaddie. Just
the wide one.
Just because it would hurt so much more, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'll probably be out by then anyway. But
Samana ties into Zougotcha. So if you're backing, both drawn very well. If you're backing if you're backing Zougotcha, you've got to kind of save Samana, in my opinion. They're tied through the Coolmore and the Queen of the Turf, and Samana's got race fitness. So.
And that's why I'm with Samana again, and I feel like a bit of a broken record so far today, but I think she's got the ability to pinch a Group 1 here.
I thought you were going to say
no, I was trying to work around that term, and the over and unders will get us. But obviously going down to Bella Nipotina 8 weeks ago, and that's, excluding Bella, that was a far, far weaker race than what we're seeing here. But look, she's going to settle positively. She's got that race fitness. She'll have a few of these chasing over 1,400 metres. So I think she's a terrific 1x3 play, Samana, and could maybe just pinch that Group 1. I'm making Via Sistina a lay job, laying the place Via Sistina here because it's around $657. So we want some value there. So Via Sistina's a place lay. Hasn't seen a 1,400 metre race since her debut at Thirsk in May of 2021. So we know how good she was here first up, but we're talking 2,000 metres. It's a bit of a challenge to be sharp and be that good here now over 1,400 metres. Certainly has the class to do it, but not with me. So I'm going to be laying Via Sistina to place, and we might see that feature perhaps a little bit later in our lay segment too.
Two things with her. What gave me the confidence with the 1,400 metres that I didn't want to lay it was how good her turn of foot was off that slow tempo 2,000 metres. She ran one of the fastest final, I've got it here somewhere, fastest final 400s or 600s. She ran 21.76 home, final 400 over 2,000 metres. Tells me she's sharp enough. But does she go last fence with Fangirl outside her?
That's where I have her.
Yeah.
But if she's in touch at the 300, I'll be quaking in them.
Yeah.
So it's where it's how disconnected she's going to be from the field, how close she's going to be at the 300 is what's going to.
Hopefully, J-Mac just keeps her last defence for a while and winds up.
Yeah, the intent as well, as we discussed earlier. It's not going to be there.
And we talk about J-Mac picking his horses as well. It's a pretty big sign that he's gone with the favourite in Fangirl here to go back-to-back in the Group 1-2, boys.
Yep.
Good discussion. Let's hope we can get something there for the layback listeners in the first Group 1 of the season. We'll take a look now at race number 9. It's the Group 3 Toy Show Quality. It's fillies and mares, 1,100 metres. Godolphin have actually had a stranglehold on this race with Parasail and Zapateo winning the past 2 editions. And 2021 was won by one of my favourite mares, Fortuce. Maybe named after me, I'm not sure. I'm pretty keen to get involved here, boys, but keen to hear your thoughts first, Tommy.
Yeah, you mentioned Godolphin. I think they can win it again. I think there's 2 hopes here, and I'll be back in Commemorative Saving the Black Cloud. Easy horse to like, Commemorative. Superb win in a listed race when we last saw her third fastest 6 and 400 of the day on that occasion. She has the SP advantage over Jolie Star, which is amazing. I know she's scratched now, but SP profile. She started shorter than Jolly Star and Komochi both times. When they met back in November. Love the trial. Lloyd's riding superbly, 53 kilos right in this. I've got her on top, and I do want to say Black Cloud, who I do think is the main danger, Fitness Edge, off a short campaign over a few of these as well. Barrier 1 scares me a little bit with the Black Cloud, but got ability. So 11 from 10 in the Toy Show.
I'm with you on commemorative before Clance probably will give him the mic to rebuttal for his rebuttal. But I've always been a big fan of commemorative. She won well last prep. That was at listed level at Scone for being tipped out. And again, that trial was outstanding. I thought it was one of the trials of the morning at Warwick Farm last week. She's a big mare. I think the key to her is galloping room, being drawn outside runners. I was really keen on her last spring. I think it was in the Desirable Stakes down here at Flemington. She's inside. She couldn't get the galloping room, and she just doesn't go a yard when she has that set up. So I really like her here outside of runners, and that's when things generally work out best. And I'm pretty keen to play commemorative in the 9th as well.
She's an absolute monster, isn't she?
Yep. Big girl.
The big mare. Still does a lot wrong. That's where I'm going from. Just very lanky, lays out, doesn't run straight. Yes, runs great time, but needs a few things to go her way, especially when you're going to be getting back in the field. Whereas, as you touched on very briefly, Tom, the Black Cloud's just going to be off and gone at the start. And I've got Lady Laguna, Mumbai Muse, and maybe even Infancy pushing forward as well. So nothing crazy in terms of speed influences outside of the Black Cloud. So it could be off and gone. Komochi, I have the third pair back. Now, Komochi was pushed out of her comfort zone last preparation, got out all the way to 2,000 metres, and I just don't think that's her go. Has looked rev up in her trials so far to be a nice sprinter this preparation. Her win in the Light Fingers first up last prep over the 1,200 was the highest rating of any horse in this field. So I'm thinking if they stick towards the sprinting this race, she's already proven herself a really good sprinter, and we're getting nigh on double figures to find out here. So Komochi's going to be the way I am going. I think one of the best roughies for the day, if you can consider a $10 shot of roughie. And that's where I'll be playing. And commemorative, I'm going to bank on the fact that Black Cloud's going to be up there doing everything right, and Komochi's going to be within striking distance to hold it off. What's commemorative into now that there's a scratching this morning? I think we're $3.90 on the exchange, $3.20 on the book, so you know where to play there. But yes, I'll be laying commemorative and taking Komochi at $11.50 on the exchange.
Another hamburger there. We've all had a hamburger each now, boys. Eat up. Good stuff. Race number 10, benchmark 78, 1,200 metres. Equine Genius, you're just finding all the quaddy legs for us here, mate, and a little 2-bet play as well for you to round out the card at Royal Randwick.
I am. I wasn't that excited when Tommy put this on the agenda, being the last leg of the quaddy, but
now you're the only one that's ended up playing.
I'll talk about it.
Okay, no worries, mate.
But the two flying horses, the Flying Sultan and the Flying Destiny, they're the two that I want to focus on, and I think they'll both. I mean, Flying Sultan has a great deal of credence in this room, being both a Mitch Beer runner and for the Sultan, one of your dear mates.
This is huge.
It's named after 2 units.
No, I don't think it is. Yeah. Are we good with Mitch Beer at the moment?
Yeah, great.
Gee, I wasn't going to bring that up. I'm glad you have footy.
No, we've sent a couple of texts since then.
Okay, just checking in. Just a welfare check.
But both flying horses for me are going to be finding the front here. Flying Sultan's gone from strength to strength this gelding. I think has been thrown his toughest task here yet for sure. But the trial win was by 7 lengths, absolutely bolted in, and then led, admittedly at a leader's track, but was able to go on with it. We're getting $21 here in the early market. And then Flying Destiny was one that's won its last 2, both at Canterbury. Different ball game here at Randwick, but we're getting $18 there for Flying Destiny to find out as well, and hoping that we'll come home with a very, very big price winner in the quaddy.
I will just say quickly on Flying Sultan, I know we speak of Mitch Beer, but it's interesting what setting up in a better jurisdiction can do for your horses. Like a horse like Flying Sultan was popping around in these country meet like Wodonga and Maruya and these sort of places, and now you move and you race better horses and they just elevate. I'm sure from a training perspective, I know he's not really doing a whole lot different, but you're just sort of organically lifting to the level that you're in the jurisdiction that you're racing in. It's a really
change of scenario.
Yeah, it's a interesting piece, and like you can see why probably more trainers want to take that risk and take it on, Tommy.
Yep. especially for a horse of that nature that likes to be free rolling in front. Often doesn't know what's behind it most of the time, but if I feel it coming and it's got a strong will to win, who knows the sort of heights it can get to.
Are you playing the race?
I more against Invader Zim than with him. Came in the outside fence. I thought it was just a really good ride last start. Probably the right part of the track, obviously. Tricky map. This is a step up for him. Yes, the form reads really well with Yorkshire winning Wednesday, but more against Invader Zim. Spring Lee, desperately unlucky last time. Big gap to third there's got to be in the mix. I'm leaning to number 3, Panic here. J-Mac on board first up, love the trial.
It's a great trial, wasn't it?
So
if you like commemorative, you somewhat got to like Spring Joy, don't you? Like second to Spring Lee, second to commemorative in that Denise Joy Stakes. So
correct, yeah. So and I don't love the favourites prices in Invader Zim and Spring Lee, so I don't mind Liam looking outside, and I'll definitely follow him in with those two and have them in the quaddie.
Love it. Hey, that rounds out what we've got at Royal Randwick so far. Before we just take a quick look at the feature at the Valley, I just want to talk about some of the new Betfair features that we've got on the app and the website for this upcoming spring. They're available now. We've got the speed maps option, Tommy, which is terrific. You can hop on there and work out where your horse is getting to in run, which is always very handy to see. And there's a late speed option as well, which takes sectional form and shows what horses have the best last 600 metre splits of the race.
Yeah, it's taken the last 600 metres from the last 3 runs. So head over to the Betfair app and check that out. You see a lot of bias tracks this time of year, obviously with the rain around and whatnot. So the speed maps hopefully can help educate and find a winner.
And while the equine genius has been on holidays because he doesn't like to look at too many races outside of spring, the layback team and the Betfair digital team have still been putting together some great education sessions as well. The likes of the Noonans, the Form Kings on one as well.
Yeah, Dave Fundy was brilliant.
Yep.
And then we had a couple of harness guys as well. So 3 episodes education. Check them all out. I love chatting to those kind of people.
And that's on the education tab on the Betfair website, and that'll link you through to the YouTube as well to be able to watch those. So plenty's been going on at Betfair across our layback off season. Boys, we'll take a quick look at the Valley. Just want to touch on one race there. We'll look at the Carlyon Stakes. We do, but I'll save the one for my best a little bit later. So we might take a look at race number 8, which is the feature on the day, the listed Carlyon Stakes. It's set weights and penalties, 1,000 metres. And Tommy, there's a stack of speed in this race too, isn't there? A few little hot rockets going around at the Valley over 1,000.
There is, yeah. I don't know how you read the speed map. You got Scuderia Golden Boom drawn in, Acromantula drawn, Barrier 4, and then Bold Bastille, the 3-year-old filly from Barrier 9. I think she can cross them or settle outside.
I think she'll be the one leading them up. She's got speed to burn. I think Matt Hill called her best when she won at Flemington and just called her an absolute ball of speed as she crossed the line.
Yeah, so I think she can cross. I wouldn't be surprised if those drawn inside her take a sit anyway. And often you see these races with huge speed. If a bit of intent is shown from outside with Jamie Carr on Bold Bastille, they might just settle and cruise around and go less speed than you kind of expect. But I've got Bold Bastille clearly on top, actually. I think the sprinting ranks at the moment are set up for the 3-year-olds, and I wouldn't be surprised if 3-year-olds start to dominate some of these races and have a big say in a race like an Everest. Bold Bastille's done nothing wrong. She's won 4 from 5. She gets in with 50.5 kilos. I know it's always tricky up against... She's a new early season 3-year-old filly against these, but I do like her, and I'm heavily in the camp of 3-year-olds. So I think she can skip clear and keep going around Moonee Valley and win. I like the race for her.
I'm pretty heavily in the corner of Mornington Glory here. Bold Bastille will need to be run down, that's for sure, because she'll be leading them up. But Mornington Glory got his preparation well and truly back on track last start a fortnight ago here at the Valley. That was a huge career peak figure for this horse, who was a touch disappointing in the John Monash, it has to be said. And look, there were excuses there. It was wet. We know he loves a dry track, and he was really impressive, soft on the line. I think we'll get a pretty nice trail behind that speed, and a repeat of a fortnight ago. If he runs up to that again, and it's not just an anomaly, I think he'll be winning this race. So pretty heavy in the camp of Mornington Glory for me.
Did I see Acromantula in the?
Yeah, it was definitely a typo.
Right.
Yeah, we.
I saw it. I was like, oh, this is interesting.
No, I wrote number 5 and then wrote a different name. So
fair enough.
Yeah, I needed.
So you're with Mornington Glory.
I was burning the midnight oil.
You were.
Yeah,
you were
that's it.
I was in the market, Acromantula, drifted.
Yeah,
not the tongue tie on first up.
Not for me. I love that Tommy would have been in his car the whole way here going, I'm going to wreck this guy about Acromantula as soon as I get here, and I've just thrown a curveball. I think that's why Tom doesn't write a lot of his tips on the sheet as well, because he doesn't want us just coming at him, Clance.
Correct.
And he enjoys looking at ours.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a peeping Tom.
Oh.
That's good gear. The old peeping Tom.
I actually don't. I'd much prefer not to look at yours so I can have a debate on the day. I like a bit of heated conversation.
Yeah, well,
opinions.
Yeah, well, just ask me about that. Yes.
Twittercraft.
Hey, guess what's back? The lay streak.
Has Liam got an opinion in the Carlyon Stakes?
No, I don't.
Not according to the run sheet.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Put it on the teleprompter, Tom.
What's back?
I'm like Ron Burgundy. The lay streak is back. It's a challenge to reach the heights of. I think I had about a 9-week run last year, so we'll try and. That's the best we're going to try and beat. It's a hard thing to get through a whole season. Let's be honest, laying horses, but we're all starting on. We're all given $100 here, aren't we? Liability to kick things off. So. We're all in an even playing field, and we've got our lays across the weekend. It's your best lay bet. We'll kick off with you, Clance. How you looking?
Taking you boys on. I'm going to make it a fun time taking on Commemorative. Getting back in the field, and I'm really hoping the Black Cloud and Kamachi can pull it off for me there, so that I can take on the shortest price runner that I think we've got. Maybe yours might have a little bit shorter. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to be laying Via Sistina to place.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, you can be sort of half baked and go lay to win at around 650, but we're kicking off with $100 liability. So why not go for glory? First time at 1400 metres since May 2021. We'll certainly be getting better out towards 2000 metres, Tom.
Mine is against you guys. Z-Tongue. All favours last start. Had the back of the second horse, had fencing run, goes from inside to outside, up in class, and I'm with Amina in that race. So I think Z-Tongue's my lay of the day.
Let's flip over to our best backs for the weekend. Equine Genius, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Zoo Gotcha in the Group 1 Winx Stakes. Really loved the setup. 1 out, 1 back, and ready to swoop.
That is as Group 1 operator as you can get, isn't it? I'll just make my best in a
really
really open, challenging Group 1 where everything's first up. But, he has been watching trials the last 24 hours, so our man. What about you, Tommy? Best bet?
Bulba Steel and Amina for me, and my best value, Yellow Brick in the Show County.
I love that he changed bet to bets as well on the run sheet, just so he could get a couple in. Yeah, good on you, mate. It's always good.
That.
Just
like best bets.
Shop his bets. Bet. It's like having bests and having 8 bests. People do that. Let's go to mine is at the Valley, race 4. It's in the Vale Black Caviar plate as well for the 3-year-old fillies. I'm backing Immortal Star.
Ooh.
I'm going against Manolo Bling. I just wanted to watch her go round last start. She drew inside over 1,000, was a touch slow away, and then she was really strong late, closed in some of the fastest sectionals of the meeting. Steps to 1,200. Best barrier jockey in the business, Blake Shin, goes on board. I suspect rapid improvement off that run. So Immortal Star, got a high opinion of her. She's my best in race 4 at the Valley, lads.
Cracking price, $5.30 on the exchange at the moment.
That's how we operate here.
Good.
Yeah.
What a show. Good to be back.
It feels like it's been a bit rapid fire too. I've enjoyed that.
Spring is in the air.
Rapid racing, not anymore.
Yeah, I know. And we've come in with all sort of different angles this week, haven't we? In terms of some of us going with that more the the runner with residual fitness. How many synonyms can I find? How many synonyms can I find in my brain for that?
Did you do that last week? Because Class Horses won last Saturday.
No, I was a bit of a mixed bag last week, to be honest, as I am most weeks, to be honest, Tom. Hey, guys, here at Betfair, obviously, and Layback in particular, we're always on the punter's side, and part of that is responsible gambling. And the New South Wales government has released a new campaign that very much aligns with our mantra here at Layback, and that's around setting a deposit limit. And just for today's show, we're just going to end with one of their campaigns. But all the best across this Group 1 weekend, and we'll be back next week on Layback with Betfair.
Mia's about to pull off an epic protection play by setting a deposit limit. Now she won't lose more than she can afford. Be gamble aware and set a deposit limit on your betting app.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.